Elon Musk is a philanthropist, visionary, decisive, and dynamic jack of all crafts. He was including, as he promised last year, purchasing Twitter. So it's no surprise that Elon Musk operates his private space network, SpaceX, and his recently discovered innovation, Starlink, which provides constant broadband internet connection to the entire world. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about what Elon Musk just did to stop Russia and China shock the world. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Is there more to the story than meets the eye? But first and foremost, is Elon Musk installing surveillance satellites? What exactly is Starshield, and how does it work? Is it some all-seeing artillery? Join us as we delve into how Elon Musk keeps the Starlink satellites occupied and how the system keeps Russian and Chinese armies at bay. Elon Musk will reveal Starlink, his ambitious scheme for low-cost, high-speed satellite broadband, in October 2020. However, it has grown from a small beta user population to a user base of over 500,000 clients in less than 2 years. Starlink, originally designed to give fast internet access to rural people, has found use in the military. Starlink terminals on the ground and satellites in space have been supporting communications for the Ukrainian army while it has repulsed Russian attacks for several months. This is accomplished by the expansion of networks of private satellites circling above, even though Starlink satellites routinely make headlines. Many strange facts about the system are overlooked. Over 3,000 Starlink satellites are now in orbit, with SpaceX planning to launch more. Several other uses for the groundbreaking constellation are in the works or have already been implemented. Starlink satellites routinely make headlines due to the astounding number of launches SpaceX can accomplish each year, as well as the implications the satellites have had on astronomy and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The open-source Linux operating system powers Starlink. Starlink satellites employ Linux, an open-source operating system, according to a SpaceX resources page. Starlink 2.0 is more significant than its predecessor. The Federal Aviation Administration just permitted SpaceX to orbit 7,500 satellites. According to reports, the second generation of Starlink satellites is larger and more powerful than the first generation, weighing 2,755 pounds as opposed to 573 pounds for the first generation. These larger Starlinks will eventually be launched into orbit by massive new Mars and Moon rockets. SpaceX's Starship will shortly undertake an orbital test. Starlink satellites communicate with one another via lasers. Future Starlink satellites will all be outfitted with laser crosslinks, allowing them to communicate with one another. This reduces reliance on ground stations by allowing Starlink satellites within a constellation to share data, according to Gwen Shotwell, Chief Operating Officer of SpaceX, who made the news at the 36th Annual Space Symposium in 2021. The utilization of laser links has enabled the global distribution of internet traffic among satellites without relying on ground-based internet networks to receive the signals. Starlink constellations can beam internet connection, particularly to polar locations, thanks to laser crosslinks, which will be described shortly. The Mars Declaration of Independence occurs when SpaceX arrives on Mars and begins offering services. A firm will have complete independence from any authority on Earth, according to a stipulation in the Starlink Terms of Service. According to the Starlink Terms of Service, the parties recognize Mars as a free planet and that no Earth-based authority has jurisdiction or sovereignty over Martian activities for services conducted on Mars or in transit to Mars via Starship or other spacecraft. As a result, conflicts will be settled by self-governing principles agreed in good faith at the time of Martian colonization. Despite SpaceX's efforts to make Starlink more discreet, Starlink satellite trains occasionally unusually emerge in the sky. These satellites can be extremely visible when released in progress toward their orbits. Even though local news stations are flooded with questions from surprised skywatchers, SpaceX has made steps to make Starlink appear fainter in the night sky. These Starlink trains have gotten a lot of media interest and are commonly mistaken for UFOs. These sightings risk the dark sky required for astronomy while raising concerns about being misidentified as UFOs. The International Astronomical Union has urged the United Nations to take action to safeguard the night sky from Starlink constellations. Please offer a thumbs up before discussing the disputes between China and Russia with Musk. China has practiced destroying Starlink with nuclear blasts. In reality, a group of Chinese experts at the Northwest Institute of Nuclear Technology recently published a document proposing strategies for destroying or otherwise compromising Starlink. The researchers claimed that a 10-megaton nuclear explosion would be powerful enough to destroy satellites deployed into space. Leftover solid radiation from the debris cloud can cause direct damage, leading to the destruction or failure of spacecraft, such as satellites. The South China Morning Post reports that the researchers published their findings in the Chinese Journal of Nuclear Techniques. South China Morning Post reports on Chinese physicists simulating nuclear bombs against satellites. Although Starlink is most commonly associated with the high-speed internet it transmits to faraway regions, the United States Air Force has utilized it in live fire training. The satellite constellation also provides connectivity for military equipment. While Ukrainian forces have extensively used Starlink during Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine, the United States military has alternative uses for the technology in a live fire practice. In 2020, the U.S. Air Force and SpaceX collaborated to take down a drone and a cruise missile using intelligence from the Starlink satellite. According to SpaceX's Starshield page, the company has developed a Starlink partner project called Starshield that will only provide the American military and related organizations with the extra high-assurance cryptographic capabilities required to host classified payloads and process data securely while meeting the most stringent government requirements. Starshield will provide more security than Starlink, but will it ever be weaponized? Given the vast number of satellites in orbit, how difficult would it be to outfit the Starlink constellations, notably the Starshield, with a weapon that could be directed toward the planet or other satellites as needed? Even though it would violate agreements such as the Outer Space Treaty, which prohibits the employment of weapons of mass destruction in orbital programs, specific military organizations have recently discussed the idea. Thor, a 1950s American project, was canceled before it had reached the concept stage. Over the years, various space weapons have been imagined, including rods from God, which would hurl kinetic energy weapons from orbit, and tiny satellites with internal targeting systems that would allow them to shoot at other satellites or the world below. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.